Oscar is in our office. Why don't you guys do like an office Broadway?
Why don't you gift me a giraffe? Be good enough that they can't ignore you.
There's so many people that are using, I need to get advice, I need to get a college education as an excuse not to execute.
It was so emotional when Steve left.
I feel like you walked away at the right time.
Some of these shows are like, all right, and like enough.
Find out who you are and double down on it. That's from Dolly Parton.
She might have tripled down.
Don't put so much of your self-worth in the eyes of other people. Go screw yourself what you think of me.
Oscar is in our office.
The girls put him to work already.
In our office. Isn't that kind of like a trip? It's a trip to me because when Michael first tried to start dating me,
I told you this in the... Okay.
I was like, I don't know about this guy. We'll see. He put on The Office for me. And I was like, wait, this guy's funny. I fell in love with my husband while watching that show. Like, I correlate that show, and I'm sure you've like heard what people are big fans of, through The Office.
It's so funny you say that because he was out there and I did not tell, we didn't even talk about this. And I said, when I was courting you, we would binge The Office.
You guys, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's free. That one's free. That one's free. We go to conventions sometimes and people come up to us and they'll have a baby in a carriage and they say, you know, when we were in labor, we had The Office on the loop. So the baby was born to The Office TV, and it's happened more than once. People propose in front of us. People have tattoos. It's intense. It's the show.
I thought you were going to say
means
the
a lot to
baby
people.
was born while they were watching The Office. They were having sex to The Office.
Oh, I'm sure that's happened too.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's happened. Some people watch and they love it, whatever. Some people have it on as a comfort background thing all the time.
Like a sleep thing.
It's bananas, yeah.
It is sort of like a comfort. That's a great word for it.
Well, I think it's like that, and then in previous generations, maybe it was Seinfeld. Like there's certain shows that are light enough,
Yeah.
but funny enough, but also relatable enough.
Yeah.
Right?
It's also the kind of show that ushers you into adulthood. Like you're 12 or 13 and you're like, this is cool. I get the show. Some jokes I'm getting, some I'm not. Doesn't matter. You know, it's the show. Like for me, it was Monty Python. That you're not a little kid anymore. You're not watching cartoons. You're like, I'm going to watch something funny. And you're like, oh, this show's a little risque, but my parents are letting me watch it. And, you know, it's cool.
Did you always know you wanted to be an actor? Was Monty Python something that directed you to acting?
I always knew I wanted to do something in comedy. Whatever it was, doesn't matter. But I knew I wanted to do something like that.
And what's the first big break? Like even like something that like maybe we wouldn't even know, like something way back when you were really young.
That I said, oh, that's really cool. I like that.
No, something that like sort of like was your first sort of rub with fame.
Oh, with fame.
Yeah.
We, you go to movies, of course. And I remember my dad taking my sister and me, myself and I, all three of us, to the ballet. And that was a big deal. I'm like, well, ballet, but I liked it. I'm like, this isn't Broadway. This is like ballet. He liked ballet. He took us to ballet. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But as far as like fame, it must have been New York City, but I wasn't working with, when I started, we were doing improv in New York City and no special guest would come in. It was just a bunch of people doing theater in the Village. No one famous was with us. We were just doing it for the fun of it. That didn't happen till I came out here. So
what was your first maybe show or your first break that you had?
Oh, it happens slowly. There's never like, but to answer your question, now I when I was in the Groundlings, Carol Burnett did come out to see a show, and Faye Dunaway came out to see a show, and I was like, oh. And Carol Burnett's very cool because when I was little, her show was an inspiration. Harvey Korman in particular. This guy on her show, his name was Harvey Korman, and he was a comedic actor. And I'm like, oh, that guy, whatever that guy's doing, I want to do that.
How much groundwork did you have to put in to even star on television? Tell us the nitty gritty of what happens before you even catch a break.
Oh, it's just life. It happens different for different people, but my particular path is years and years. So you better enjoy the ride because there's no I came out here as an adult. I wasn't like, I'm 16, I'm tap dancing and someone's going to see me. No, I was in my 30s, full grown out here. And a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to give myself a time limit. A lot of people do that. I'm going to give myself 5 years. And if it doesn't happen then, and I was like, well, it's not a time thing, but I will do this. If I'm giving 100% and I'm not cracking this nut, then I better find something else. And every time I would reevaluate myself, like I was here 2 or 3 years, whatever, and I'm like, are you giving 100%? The answer was always no. There's the beach. Let's go play volleyball. 3 days have gone by and I'm having so much fun in Southern Cal. I haven't done anything for my career. I'm just hanging out and having a good time. It's like when I started to get close to giving 100% or every day at least doing something for your career, then stuff started to happen.
So what were you doing before then to make a living? Like when you first came out here and you were an adult and you needed to get by? Because LA is not the cheapest place to live, obviously.
Teacher's aide. I painted for a while. Painted homes. Teacher's aide. Waiting tables. Babysitting.
You were just doing odd jobs to make ends meet to live in this city while you were kind of...
While you're doing the same thing. While you're going to auditions and trying to get the quote unquote big break or whatever. When I landed the office, I was babysitting and catering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool.
How did someone even find you
Did
then?
you know it was going to be the success that it's become?
No, but as soon as we started, I was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
The day that I auditioned for the show was a really good actor's day because I had 4 auditions that day. And that's a good day. You're like, oh my God, I'm really a lot of auditions today. That's cool. And I think it was the 4th audition of the day. So by then I didn't care. So I had to go to audition because I, just was very relaxed and like, oh, just get this over with. And I got a callback and then I got 2 or 3 callbacks and then we shot the pilot. And then I met Kate Flannery, who was also waiting tables, and we kept checking in on each other, like, "Are you quitting your job yet?" And they picked up. The show was weird. It was like they picked up not a full season; they just picked up like 4 or 5 episodes. And I'm like, "Are you quitting yet?" She's like, "No, not yet. We don't know." And then finally, they ordered the whole season. I'm like, "Are you?" She's like, "I'm leaving my job," and I'm like, "Me too." And we quit our jobs at the same time. It was really cool.
When you were starting that show, was there someone on there that had not broken out that you knew was like going to break out?
None of us had broken out. Only Steve was.
It was still early for him too, a little bit, yeah?
Yeah, but he was already on The Daily Show and he had done Anchorman and I'm like, oh, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
And everyone else, I didn't know. But I remember seeing Rain on 6 Feet Under and I'm like, oh, that's that guy from 6 Feet Under. And then once we started, performing and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of talent here. I'm like, everyone's going to do fine after The Office.
I think that's why also the show is so good is it's such an ensemble and it feels, and I'm sure you've heard this 100 times, but it feels like it's an actual office with people actually working together.
Yeah, it looked that way. It felt that way. It was ridiculous.
Wasn't it filmed in an actual office building? Is that true or is it a set?
The pilot was.
The pilot
we
was,
were
yeah.
in an office. And then when we got picked up, they took pictures of that office and they built the same exact replica in a studio. So that was fun.
Where is the actual building?
In Van Nuys.
Oh, it's in Van Nuys. Okay.
Yeah. We weren't at NBC Universal. We were in Van Nuys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you filmed a lot around the building too. So I was always wondering where the location was.
What's something that would shock Office fans? Like, give us some behind the scenes.
It was fun. It was fun when the ladies got pregnant. Angela, what a strange statement, but it is because they're like, do we hide their belly? And then we had to find creative ways of, hiding their baby bumps, I guess. It was very cool. The people that wanted to go on the show and all the directors who were on the show that we got to meet. and some of them came back more than once. Jon Favreau, and a bunch of others. That was really cool.
Who are some of the people that guest starred that were major?
A lot of people.
I know, but I want to know Oscar's favorites.
Oh my gosh. Well, towards the end, everybody wanted to be on the show, but at the beginning, it was just regular. No one was famous. You know who we had on? We had on Amy Ryan and Amy Adams.
That's cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember Amy Ryan was selling purses and she wasn't known yet. And that was cool. And she was on for a couple of episodes.
Is it the success of The Office? Do you attribute a lot of it to just rinse and repeat? You guys showing up day after day, doing the same thing with the same layout. Like, it seems like you guys did a really good job of creating this routine of a show. Is that how it was behind the scenes, Monday through Friday?
Mm-hmm.
The same time, same space, same off.
Like work. But, I was in Toronto shooting People of Earth, beautiful town, by the way. I kept walking around. I'm like, whatever. And there's like 3 universities there, and it's cool. Toronto has a lot of like Pakistani and Indian people, and all these Indian and Pakistani bros kept seeing me in the street. They're like, yo, it's Oscar, whoa. And I kept getting ganged up. Yo. Everyone's like, so. I'm like, I've got a little time in my hands. Let me go back and watch. Because I only watched it when it aired. I don't go back. None of us did. So I went back and watched the whole thing over again, like a regular person. I watched the whole season. And out of the 9 seasons we did,
yep,
there were 2 shows that were like okay, like mediocre. And the rest were really funny. I'm like, oh my God, it was a funny show. So the writing was really funny. And I think that just people are like blown away by it. It's like Fleabag, or like, it's a really well-written show. And then we didn't have to fumble. We just had to show up and do our jobs. So, good people, funny, but it starts with the writing.
Is there ever any ad-libbing? Do you guys ever just like...
Yeah.
So sometimes you just go off.
A little bit, yeah.
How close to, I was going to ask, that's along the line of questions. How close is the character you play on The Office to you personally? Like, how much of that do you have to act, and how much of it is improv, and how much do you have to stretch versus just being yourself?
I think it's pretty close. They started having me saying actually a lot. And I'm like, that's funny. Who thought of that? And the writers are like, oh, you say that. I'm like, oh, all right.
And then they named you Oscar.
That was already, he came to look at your face. There's a bunch of us named our real names, right?
No.
Angela?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Phyllis?
Didn't know that.
Creed, it's his first and last name. That's how nuts that is. And myself. So there's 4 of us.
You know what I think too about it is, and I just realized this, is that everyone, at least the jobs I've had, has the dynamics that you guys had. Like, Creed reminds me of our producer.
Of Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
Taylor?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Taylor's a young man.
Yeah. Well, maybe not from a physical standpoint.
I hate to break it to you, Oscar. Taylor is Creed.
Okay, Taylor's the type of guy where he'll tell
Jade's
you, like...
dying laughing because she's crying.
She knows the truth. Jade knows the truth.
Jade is what's the girl's name that sits at the front desk? That, like, she's one
Pam?
Yeah, you're Pam.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Who's Michael?
Uh-oh.
I think I'm Michael.
Yeah, you might be.
I think I'm Michael.
That's wonderful. It's, I worked in an office where the boss is there and you're like, just let us work. Please leave us alone. What are you doing here? Why are you even here?
And they're creating chaos?
Yeah, they're like, meeting. Let's have a meeting. For what? Why? Nothing good comes from the meeting. What? We're working already. Just leave us alone. It's the best. It's the best setup. Yeah. We all,
boss, manager.
That's why
something.
I think, though, it was so funny is that the dynamics were so relatable.
Yeah,
just like Seinfeld, just like Friends. You can find everyone in the character.
Well, and then you also, with the rank, you always have, there's like somebody that's like, they're taking it way too seriously. You're like, we're just at work, man. Like, we do a good job.
Everyone has a Phyllis.
Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor's a little Dwighty, though.
No, Taylor, the reason I think he's like Creed is because he's one of those guys where he will tell you something happened, but it's not the full story. And over time, more and more comes out. And you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah, you left a lot out, Taylor.
Yeah, you left a lot.
You left the whole story
out.
Yeah.
Taylor, you walked into the store and everybody was weird to you, but you weren't wearing pants, and you didn't tell us that when you told the story the first time, Taylor.
There's different
100%.
degrees of truth.
Or like when you ended up in a tent encampment in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know what happened. I'm just like laying in the streets in Vegas, and I don't know. And like, there's a lot that happened before you got there. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before he's laying in the streets in
Yes,
Vegas.
Before he woke
All
up
we
in
hear is
someone's
the-
tent.
Taylor's got a.
Was it Burning Man? Where was he?
No, it wasn't Burning Man.
No,
it
it wasn't that
was
kind of
not
tent.
Burning
It was in
Man.
no
It was a
tent.
parking lot.
He woke up in someone's tent in the parking lot.
It happens.
Her stories evolve. My stories.
My story's evolved.
I was never in tents.
You were laying on the bare street.
Yeah,
I'm
in
sorry,
Vegas.
the Bear Street.
Yeah, just the bare. Anyways,
Did you take penicillin? Are you okay?
he's not okay.
Okay.
That part of the story will come eventually.
Yeah, so he is like Creed. But I think that's why The Office was so iconic, is because you could see yourself or your friends or your coworkers
Sure.
in each of the characters.
That's right.
And that was really special. That kind of show doesn't come along. What's that book Ryan Holiday wrote? I always say it wrong. Perennial seller. It's a perennial seller.
Perennial.
How do you say it?
Perennial. It's like something that is just, it will sell and be watched or be viewed for long after the point that it's
It
created.
never feels out of sorts to watch
Kids
it.
are watching it now. So people come up all the time and they're like, I've watched, teenage people start watching it like, I don't know, 11, 12, 13. And so there's always a new batch of people because it's on all the time, you guys. It's on all the time.
Well, think about it, like how many shows people, like, yeah, to your point, like there's a lot of shows and a lot of them, like they're like, you watch them for a couple seasons or series and then you're done.
When
This is
you
what people still talk about.
you catapult to fame from that, because you got to be
I
recognized.
did catapult. How did you know? I didn't take an escalator.
I have a.
I catapulted.
Well, with that, I mean, to go from waiting tables, you said catering, and then you're like famous. It feels like overnight. I'm sure it didn't feel like that to you. What was that like? You go out to eat. Is it annoying? Did you love it? What was the vibe there?
It happened over time, and very rarely do I find it annoying. It's fine. I like it, just not when I'm eating.
Yeah.
But people come up. It's all good.
Which
Like
is
your
interesting,
mid-bite?
But bear in mind, it's not overwhelming. People don't come to me like, I'm not Tom Cruise. That's a whole other level. I'm okay. I don't need protection. I don't need bodyguards. But so far, yeah, it's pretty easy.
Well, because we've had other actors on the show and some of them don't have the perspective you have, like some that have maybe done a show and people come up to them for that show for years and years and years. Like some of them don't have the same reaction that you have. Some get a little irritated. Like, do you ever get annoyed, like, hey, talking about The Office and people are such huge fans? Are you more grateful for these things?
Everyone has a bad day, but generally, I mean, I was, it's who you are. It's, everyone's different. But I remember listening to, I think it was Mark Maron had a podcast, right? WTF. He had Henry Winkler on.
Oh, the Fonz.
And Henry Winkler's talking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Mark Maron was like, is there a thing, a philosophy or something that you live by or whatever? And he said, tenacity and gratitude. And I was like, oh, that struck a nerve with me. He verbalized the way, like, kind of like my philosophy. Be great or try to be grateful. Even if you're not, try. And then that'll get the gratitude thing going. Some days you're, whatever, but try to be grateful, but be tenacious. No one's going to, owes you anything or is going to give you any. You have to go out there and if it takes being a little annoying, that's okay too.
Another celebrity that I heard on something say that is Kim Kardashian. She said that she does not get mad when people come up to her. She's grateful for it. She loves it. She's so appreciative of it.
Who is this?
Kim Kardashian.
Who is this?
She's not
author?
you, Oscar. She's not you.
She's
You guys,
she's an astronaut.
She's everywhere. She's whatever she wants to be.
But she did say it's annoying when she's wants to just get a churro and like be with no makeup.
Is she recognized a lot? I bet she is, right?
I mean, as an astronaut, I think she is.
People who know her. And she's got 1 billion followers.
Yeah.
On the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, she has 1 billion fans.
She's got to be recognized everywhere.
Yes.
She can't get a churro.
By her
in
people.
peace.
She can't get a churro in peace.
Yeah.
But you
If
can't
it
get
ever
a
gets to
churro
that
in peace.
point for
There's no
us-
way that you can get a churro in peace after being on The Office and being the character that you were. There's no way. You got to people have got to say things to you every
I
single
have a
day.
churro guy.
You have a churro guy, a delivery
They come
Postmates.
over. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't. I get it. What she's saying. I haven't had a churro in a long time. But yes, sometimes you need. When we go to Disneyland, I just can't go. We have to get a person.
Like a plaid.
A what now?
A plaid?
Like a plaid, one of the guys, the Disney characters.
Yes, a plaid. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
love
they'll
the-
take you
I
around.
love
Oh, I
the
didn't know
plaids.
they called them a plaid. Yeah, we get one of those
Is
people.
that what it's called?
It's
Yeah, plaid.
wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it.
And how is it when you're with your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
She's 11.
Yeah.
You're at Disneyland.
Yeah.
People are screaming your name.
No, we have a plaid. No one's screaming.
No one's screaming. Okay.
No one's screaming. But
If I saw you, I'd say Oscar.
a lady came over and the plaid was like, it's family time. And she's like, oh, but she looked at me and she looked at her group down there. And it's him. It's him. She's looking and I'm like,
This is a question that our audience asked a lot of times. What is your favorite memory from filming with the Office team? What's something that just is a really special moment?
there's a couple. And at the beginning, we didn't know each other, so it was cool. Well, first of all, seeing Angela on the set, I didn't know she was hired. I don't know if it was the 3rd episode or whatever. I don't know. But I'm there in my stupid office thing, and she walks in, and I'm like, she's like, I'm on the show, Oscar. I'm like, what? So Angela and I have known each other for years before The Office. Yeah.
How
So
did you guys know each other?
from the Groundlings, I think, from doing improv around town. So to see someone that you know when you're broke ass poor, and we're both, she was working for 1-800 dental, whatever, and I was doing whatever I was doing, and to meet on the set on the same show when you're cast together, and it's not a guest, it's like a regular show. We're both regular. That's like a dream. So that was cool. And then the two of us are there, and then there's this guy playing Kevin Bryan, who I only knew from a commercial where he played a deli guy, and I knew he's funny. I'm like, this guy's funny. And Brian and I made friends, and then I think it was the 3rd episode, and Brian and I are talking. We're like, blah, 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 blah. Where are you from? And it's that honeymoon period. It's so cool. It's the best. And he's like, Oscar, this is a good show. I'm like, yeah, it is. And then we're like, you know what? We're not crazy. Like in 4 seasons, we can be getting Emmys, right? Am I crazy? And he's like, no, you're not crazy. Because the quality was that good. And it happened sooner than that.
How many Emmys did the show get in total?
I don't know, but we got SAG Awards, we got Emmy Awards. And so, and also when you start going to the Golden Globes and stuff, it's funny because you become a little jaded eventually, but at the beginning when it's happening, the first one, and you're wearing a tux, but you have brown shoes because you don't have the proper attire, and we're a little mismatched, but we're going to these things. That's the best time. And you're like, oh my God.
When the
This
show
is
started to
shit.
be successful, and it had a ton of success, and the cast basically stayed pretty much the same almost all the way through. I know, Steve left and everything, but most of the cast was there the whole time. How do you guys manage? Did you guys get along the whole time? How do you manage egos? How do you kind of stay, or is it just one big happy family?
It's fine. We weren't teenagers. We weren't in our 20s. And if we were, maybe it'd be different.
You're all
Because
adults.
people are young, your brain. How old are you, Jade? Jade's brain is still developing. Taylor?
37.
Taylor's Creed, though, so his is
Yeah,
still
but Taylor's brain is still developing. It's devolving. Taylor's brain reached its peak at 35, and now it's devolving.
Which brain?
Oh, poor Taylor. But you guys, what I'm trying to say is we were all adults, and we're like, we're getting,
Professional.
yes, and we're getting, you're paying all your bills and your mortgage only on acting. So everyone's behaving. No one's crazy.
People sound like they're just so grateful to be there and to be a part
Yes.
of such a great cast.
Also, when your boss is Greg Daniels and the number one on the call sheet is Steve Carell, then you can't act up because they're normal people. They're normal, empathetic, nice men. And so if Steve was crazy, if Steve was doing cocaine and misbehaving and just being crazy, then anyone could be crazy because our lead is crazy. So there's lots of drama and who knows what's happening on the set. but they're normal men. So you have to, if you were inclined to do that, you have to behave.
Well, I think even for him, to your point, like he was known, but obviously become much more. But he was also older when he kind of started to have that. And
Yes.
I imagine that was how he wasn't some child actor that kind of came.
No,
up.
Steve Carell, I believe when we started filming was 62. Oh, I should have not said that. Oh, you guys.
85.
Yeah, 80. You're right. We were all, he had a family. Yes.
And is he like how he is from your perspective? On it seems like he doesn't. Listen, he's an amazing actor, but it seems like he doesn't actually have to stretch that far out of who he is. Like he's kind of just that funny, down to earth guy.
He's funny. He's funny. He's not nothing like Michael Scott, but he's very funny. And we knew what a good actor he was. We knew from working with him on The Office.
He's one of the most chaotic characters I've ever seen on TV. I'm obsessed with it. Him and I together, if we dated as his character, would have a fucking field day with chaos.
You would date Michael Scott?
I like, well, I don't think I would date
Jade's laughing. Look at Jade over there
I don't
laughing.
know that I would date him. I'm just saying, like, if he took me on a date, it would be like really chaotic.
It'd be
kind of
nuts.
fun. It'd be kind of fun.
You'd have a good time?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd have a good time. Gun to your head. You have
Switch
to pick.
gears. What's that? Hold on. Someone handed her gun.
Gun to your head, Oscar. This is a question you have to answer. There's a gun to your head. Who is the funniest? You can include yourself on the whole cast. You can only pick one.
You mean as character?
Well, either.
Let's do a character and in real life.
Oh, just for fun. I'll answer because I would have loved if I didn't have to play myself. I would have loved to have played either Michael or Dwight. Those characters are so fun.
True.
Yeah, Dwight's character is just as fun to play. As,
Dwight would
as
have been
Michael
a fun
Scott.
character to
Yeah,
play.
no, it's bananas. It's
What about
bananas.
in real life?
What about in real life?
Who do you think's the
Like,
funniest
who do you
in real
laugh
life?
with the most?
Offset.
Funniest Offset? You know, we're funny. We're a funny group, but everyone's pretty normal and, you know, it's so tacky. I'm not going to pick myself. I'm not going to do that. No, that's wrong. It's wrong. And it's wrong. And it's wrong. And it shouldn't be said.
What if
I
you
don't even
weren't
want to think it.
involved?
I don't even want to think it.
So you're the funniest. Dwight is the funniest character.
Steve Carell is pretty funny, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
He has coaches, and he has a guy who comes in and just helps him do pratfalls, and that's not fair. We all can't afford a pratfall coach.
No, you can't afford a pratfall coach. Did the cost?
Brian's pretty funny. Angela's hilarious. Kate's funny. It's just a great cast.
They're all funny.
Yeah.
Is Creed really funny in real life?
He's nuts. Yeah, and don't tell him he's not funny because then he'll be depressed and we have to help.
Creed would be fun to go on a date with too.
If you say so. Listen, Creed was in a rock band since he's like 19 years old.
Was it called Creed?
No, it was called the Grassroots.
I didn't know that.
Did you not know this?
No, I didn't know this.
When we're done here,
You want to play a song?
please
Done.
download the Grassroots. He was like 19 or 20. He's a real rock star from back then. He can play electric guitar like no one's business.
Wow,
So Creed had another life before this. Anyway,
that's pretty cool.
Did the costumes get exponentially more expensive as you went on, or did you guys stay like very like down to earth?
they tried to stay down to earth.
Uh-huh.
Naturally, things are going to happen. People are going to look a little better. That stuff is just par for the course. But we tried to stay, close to the vest.
Everyone always gets a little hotter as the seasons go on.
It's just inevitable.
Like I have to say, you're looking hotter now than you ever looked. You look a little hotter as you go
Thank
on.
You don't have to say that, but you're honest and you see what's in front of you and you speak it. And
Yeah.
good for you.
You look a little. Everyone
That's
looks a little
part
hotter.
of theater media. Honesty.
For anyone who's listening who's aspiring young actress, what advice would you tell them? It sounds like one of your pieces is that you want to give yourself a timeline and give 100%, but even more than that from a more micro level. What are the tips?
All of us don't know how to end this sentence. Words are coming out, one in front of the other. Listen, do you know who Jack Nicholson is?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson was on the Johnny Carson show a long time ago, and Johnny asked him the same question. But I will get to an answer because I'm not. But Jack Nicholson said, if they need advice, they're not gonna. And Johnny's like, really? He's like, yeah, they'll find. you basically will find a way if you're desperate enough and crazy enough to do this. If not, there's a billion other things. But let's say you want to do this. You know, get training, of course, and all that stuff. Surround yourself with like-minded people. And you don't have to wait for the phone call. You don't have to wait for stuff. Here, I'll tell you this. Steve Martin said this, and this is for real. Be good enough that they can't ignore you. So don't worry about what's on the outside. Find whatever you want to do. Here's another one. Dolly Parton says also, and this is for life, find out who you are and double down on it. That's from Dolly Parton. That's good stuff.
She doubled down.
Whoever you are, find out who you are and double down on it.
She might have tripled down.
Yeah. and try it's all platitudes. Of course, enjoy the journey. Don't be so focused on results or on I want to become famous. Just find out what you like doing and what you're passionate about and concentrate on that. And yeah.
I think that Jack Nicholson advice, it wasn't advice, but I think what he said is so true. There's so many people that are using, I need to get advice. I need to get a college education. I need to go to the actor's school as an excuse not to execute.
You know what
they're
Jack
trying
Nicholson
to be like,
also said?
That's right.
Well, you'll tell us.
He said, never give anybody your best advice. They won't take it anyway.
He said that. Never give anyone your best advice, Johnny. They won't take it anyway. Yeah. He said that. That's true, too.
Yeah, he said it.
Jack Nicholson would be a good person to interview.
He's got some great quotes.
He's not gonna.
He wouldn't.
He's not coming on.
He wouldn't.
No, I don't think so. Oh, if you guys go up to where he is, he might.
Right. There's some people like that say if we come up and make the trek, we do make some treks sometimes.
Well, now you tell me.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
You should have requested. Then we wouldn't have put you in the chair. We wouldn't have frisked you when you got here.
God, I had to meet Jade and Taylor.
Yeah. The whole team patted you down.
Oh my God.
You had to see our office.
But you know, it's a rare. I mean, we like to kind of just sit here and not move much.
I am someone who is obsessed with honey. I put honey on everything. I get it from the farmer's market. It's raw, it's delicious. And I also put honey on my face. There is this honey halo moisturizer, okay, from the brand Pharmacy. And it is absolutely amazing. Essentially, they source pure honey from a family-operated bee farm in California, and they combine it with ceramides to instantly hydrate and lock in moisturizer for the most gorgeous dewy skin. To me, this makes so much sense too, because honey has so many benefits. I actually had a rash on my face the other day, and one of the things that I was using on it that helped heal it was honey. So if you're looking for a product that has all the benefits of honey, it nourishes, it plumps, it does all the things we want for our skin, you have to check out this specific product by Pharmacy. It's best selling too. So it's the Honey Halo Moisturizer. It's formulated with buckwheat honey, which is the best honey ever. It's pure, unfiltered. It's harvested sustainably and ethically in small batches. And ultimately, it's a natural antioxidant that protects against causes of skin damage like UV and pollution. They formulate with farm-grown ingredients enhanced by potent science. Drench your skin in honey hydration. Visit pharmacybeauty.com and use code SKINNY. You get 20% off your order. That's 20% off your order at pharmacybeauty.com with code SKINNY.
Quick break to change your life right now with a simple change with Branch Basics. Lauren and I could not be bigger proponents of cleaning without compromise, which is why we love Branch Basics so much. Branch Basics is free of fragrance, hormone disruptors, and harmful preservatives that wreak havoc on our health. It's so safe that it's even safe enough to use around babies and pets. Lauren and I switched all of our household cleaning supplies to Branch Basics years ago, and we have not looked back. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that getting these harmful ingredients as much as you can out of the house, out of your food, out of the ingredients that you use to cook with, everywhere, it's going to make such a huge difference in your life. We've had Allison, the founder of Branch Basics, on this show twice to talk about the importance of cleaner alternatives around the house, especially in the cleaning supplies in your home. I highly suggest you check out those episodes if you have not, or if you're new to this show. Their premium starter kit replaces all of your harmful cleaning products in the home, and Branch Basics now has a new luxurious luxurious gel hand soap made with only the safest ingredients to nourish your skin. Ever since we learned about all of the harmful ingredients and chemicals that they put in typical household cleaning supplies, it's been a no-brainer to make the switch to Branch Basics, and we have not looked back since. It's such a simple, easy, and effective switch to make, and it's cost-effective. Of course, we have an offer for our listeners. Save 15% on your starter kit or their new hand soap when you use code SKINNY at www.branchbasics.com. Again, that is code SKINNY for 15% off when you purchase a starter kit or their new gel hand soap at branchbasics.com. Promo code SKINNY.
I have been on a weight loss journey, 60 pounds to be precise. And one thing that I never gave up ever, every single day I have a piece, is bread. I love bread. There is this brand, okay? It's called Hero Bread. They also have buns, but I'm just a bread fan. It's fluffy, it's delicious, and it has no net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and fewer calories. Plus, it also has protein and fiber. And that is like a dream. Something that has protein and fiber and no net carbs, sign me up. So how I used their bread is I made a delicious BLT sandwich, okay? I did avocado mayo, a little bit of mustard, pepperoni, lots of pepperoni. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lettuce, tomato, bacon from the farmer's market. I even drizzled a little honey on top. I toasted the bread and I made this for me and Michael. It was so good on this bread. And what I noticed is it's got the perfect crunch. It tastes so delicious. It's like melt in your mouth, guilt-free. It's fluffy, delicious. And I just think that if you can do bread this way, this is a great way to do it, especially if you're on the same journey as me, which is tightening up. I'm still in the process of losing a couple more pounds. And I think this is a great way to do it. Keep the carbs out of summer without compromising flavor with Hero Bread. You get 10% off your order at hero.co and use code SKINNY at checkout. That's skinny at HERO.co. How do you manage to stay so down to earth in Hollywood? Is like, what is the unlock? You're around all different kinds of people. You've been exposed to a lot. How do you stay down to earth? Because you're very easygoing. You're very, from what I've seen, you're very easy to talk to. How do you do that?
I don't know. I think I don't know how people allow themselves to become weirdos and crazy. Don't believe what people say about you. Have your friends that you know what happens sometimes. And I'm not going to name any names, but some people become really huge and then they surround themselves with yes people but these are people who are huge. But you know what I'm saying? People who, like, if you criticize me, you can't hang out with me or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, doing what we do, we get to meet all sorts of really interesting people, and not just celebrities, but just, all walks of life. And sometimes those kind of people that you're alluding to will come in and there'll be a team of 10 people. And sometimes I actually feel sorry. I'm like, there's all these people around. I'm like, what are all these people
What are they doing?
Also, the most famous people come in with like one or no one, just themselves. Which is interesting. The most famous people that I've ever interviewed come in with one person, like maybe like a PR person, or by themselves.
A lot of staying normal and all that is in you when you're little. When your parents give you self-esteem and you like being liked, but your life doesn't depend on how many people like you or how your friends feel about you. And you could have friends who I'm thinking about this now because I have a daughter, 11-year-old daughter, and it's like, she's your friend, August, but she also says, sometimes she says mean things about you, and that's okay, and that's life, and sometimes friends are tricky. There's really nice friends, and there's people who are your friends who are like, why am I their friend? They're nice to me sometimes, but sometimes they're not, and you have to learn how to maneuver that, and always know that I always tell, let's say there's 20 people. They're not all going to like you no matter what you do. Whatever you do, there's 5 people so don't worry about that. Don't worry about, be true to yourself. Mommy and daddy love you. You're loved here. And just be aware of that when you go out. Don't put so much of your self-worth in the eyes of other people, especially girls when it comes to men's eyes and what they think of you. Go screw yourself what you think of me. What do I think of you, fella?
Yeah.
Right?
I say you're lucky to be in my presence.
Thank you.
Tell her that. They're lucky to be in her presence.
I know, but they have to, a lot of things they have to figure out themselves.
I know.
They're like, oh, Dad.
Listen, for both of you guys, it's going to be hard. Michael has a daughter too. We have a daughter, and it's going to be hard.
We're going to become Amish when we're about 12, 13.
Okay.
Let's go. We'll go to the same camp and bring the micro. We'll have the podcast there.
Yeah.
Until Rumspringa comes.
We're going to go hide in the hills.
They don't watch TV?
Our kids, they watch TV a little
the
bit.
community we're going to live in.
No. There's no connection to the out. We're just going to be in one
You know what that
disconnected
means?
community.
We have to act out The Office for them.
Why don't you guys do an acted out play? Why don't you guys do like an Office Broadway, please?
Why don't you gift me a giraffe?
It would never happen.
I don't know.
Did you guys walk away? Like, I feel like you walked away at the right time. Seinfeld did this too. He walked away at the right time before it jumped the shark.
Yeah.
And was that strategic or was it just on accident? How did that happen?
Both. Our contracts were up. Steve did 7 seasons.
Okay.
Right. Steve's contract was for 7 years and it was up. So his contract's done after 7 years. Now, everyone else, for some reason, we had 2 more years on all our contracts. So Greg Daniels was like, let's do 2 seasons and we're out, you guys. If they say, oh, let's do let's renew Steve's this is hypothetical now. So let's renew Steve's contract. Or whoever the lead is, doesn't matter if it's Carell, whoever the lead is. Let's renew their contract for another 7 years. Now they got to renegotiate. Now that person's way more famous. So his people are going to say, now you're worth a lot more. So now we start going into, and now our contracts are up. So now we're more famous. So now you're renegotiating with people who have a lot more power. So the budget automatically is going to go cuckoo, which is cool. But no one wanted to do that. And Greg Daniels like, you guys, are we done? And we're like, we're done. And he's like, I'm done too. So we're done.
I think it's better to end on a high.
Yeah.
I think so too. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, not to throw shade at any shows, but some of these shows are like, all right, like enough, like, you know,
enough.
And I just want to be like, I'm so invested, but like, I need an end here.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's in reruns. Go watch it again. It's fine.
The day that The Office ends, what do you wake up on Monday morning? Like, what do you do? Do you go read a book? Do you go jump in the ocean? Do you meditate? Do you start to look for work right away? Like, what do you do the Monday after The Office ends?
I think we chilled. But I'll tell you this, when Steve for me, The Office ended when Steve left. Then we did 2 seasons without him, and it was still The Office, but something else. But when Steve left, it was a big deal. It was that week, Will Ferrell was there.
Oh my God.
So he was there to kind of
like bridge
buffer it. Yeah. So we were laughing a lot and crying a lot. And there was a lot of crying, and it was banana. It was so emotional when Steve left. And then we did 2 seasons without him, and we got to work with Kathy Bates and James Spader, and it was amazing. And after that, I think we probably went on a little vacation. I don't remember, but we chilled out for a while. Yeah.
And what are the things that you're passionate that you're working on now?
What is it? I'm going to go do improv in San Francisco on Friday. And then I'm coming back and doing something for a friend, which he's doing a pilot to present. And I've got work coming up that's happening like in September and stuff that I'm shooting. And I'm excited about all that. I can't go into too many details, but it's very exciting.
There's a list of all these other things that you've done and been on. Are these before Office or after Office?
Or during. Well, Curb had to be after.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Before.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Before. During? I don't know. During, maybe.
Reno 911.
Before.
The Baywatch movie.
During.
Shameless.
During.
Okay. Is Larry David as funny?
Yes, he's nuts. He's very funny.
Is he that funny?
Yeah.
Larry David, to me, this is a hot take, is hot.
Lauren's got all the red flags.
A lot of people say that.
I think Larry David
is hot. A lot of women
is
say
hot.
that. What about him?
His
attitude?
I think he's so self-aware that that's hot.
That what he's doing is hot?
Yeah. He's like really self-aware.
Jade, what do you think? No. Jade says no.
Oh, Ariel agrees.
Okay.
Is he as funny, though, as he is on the show?
No, he's not as funny as that, but he's very funny.
Okay.
I mean, the show is things that he would like to say, but he doesn't act like that walking around, but he's probably thinking it.
How do you even think of it
Well,
if he's not
I think the
thinking
best
it?
thing about that show is it's what everyone's thinking. It's like we're all thinking. Like the thing, one of the episodes that stands out is when he goes to the city And he's like, hey, Larry, like we're both in New York at the same time. Why don't we hang out? So we live in LA together. We never hang out in LA. Like, why are we going to hang out now when we're both on vacation? Like, that's like stuff that's happened to all of us.
But the funny, keeps thinking of Fleabag. Fleabag was really funny. And Larry's, the things he thinks of, like my cousin was visiting from out of town and we were talking about the Larry David and the scenarios he thinks of.
Mm-hmm.
And, I said, remember the episode where he's late for a baseball game? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
And he's in traffic, and there's the diamond lane, and he's like, I can't go in the diamond.
He brings the lady of the night.
Yeah, he looks to the side, and there's a prostitute. Who thinks of that?
Hey, did you see
he puts her in the car? That's hilarious.
Wait, hold on. Did you see what happened because of that?
What?
They solved a murder where someone was on death row.
Oh, yeah, somebody was...
What?
His alibi.
The alibi, someone was accused of murder, and he was going to go to jail for murder, and they found Curb Your Enthusiasm footage where the guy's alibi lined up and he was in the audience at the curb shooting.
Is that crazy?
And so he got off because they thought he was...
Of course that happens to Larry David.
Now that makes him even more sexier in your crazy eyes.
I'm just
You're
saying.
gonna date Michael
He's the
Scott.
hero.
Gonna date Larry David. Who else are you gonna date? What else?
Tony Soprano.
Tony Soprano. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
She likes that balding hair.
No,
I get it.
I like a certain energy. It's a certain energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
the Brooklyn thing. Hey.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Look out over here. You guys are from San Diego.
No, we have the San Diego accent.
Yeah, the San Diego. Right?
Yeah, I like your accent too. You'll do. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge tennis player. I have been playing since I was little, but recently kicked it off again about 1.5 years ago. And Michael and I play all the time. I seriously think it's strengthened our marriage. And it's been fun to not only play, but to dress up for the moment. I love dressing for the occasion. So one of the dresses that I wear for tennis that I've worn throughout the whole summer is by this brand called Rowback. The dress that I like comes in 4 different colors, and I actually like it so much I got it in all 4 colors. So it's the demi-active dress. My favorite color is midnight black just because it's simple, but they also have like a purple and a navy and the willow green. If I were actually to get one of those colors, though, I would get the navy because I'm just having like a navy moment. And a navy with a white shoe is so good. This tennis dress, though, not only have I played tennis in it, I've also worked out in it. So you might have seen it on my Instagram stories. I wear it a lot when I'm in the gym. It's so cute. It's tight. It's flattering. It holds you in all the right places. If you're on their site, you can also check out their jogger sets. People are really into them because they're like a cotton poly blend and they're ridiculously soft inside. If you haven't already, it's now time to try out some Rowback. You can use code SKINNY on rowback.com for a generous 20% off your first order through the end of this week. That's spelled RHOBACK.com, and that's 20% off all fleeces, hoodies, joggers, and more with code SKINNY. Stay comfortable all day with Rowback.
If you've tried everything in your life and you still feel like you have low energy, you get sick all the time, you're immune compromised, you just don't feel like you're living the best life that you could be, maybe you're a little bit too stressed, we have the answer for you, and that is Just Thrive. Lauren and I are huge fans of Just Thrive's probiotic and their Just Calm product. Using this duo in combination has been an absolute game changer in managing gut health, managing stress, which is obviously going to affect our immune system, our energy levels, just the way we feel about life in general. We've had Tina, the founder of Just Thrive Health, on this podcast multiple times to talk all about the benefits of Just Thrive products in managing your stress and gut health. The gut literally affects almost every system in the body, and it affects how you're going to look, feel, and manage stressors that come into your system and into your body. Years ago, I did a blood panel and got all my blood work back, and it showed that I was actually rather healthy, but I still felt something was off. So I did a gut health check, and sure enough, I had gut health issues. Enter Just Thrive probiotics, and I've since managed that gut health, and everything is now working in a much more optimal way. So say goodbye to frazzled nerves and hello to a steady, serene, more relaxed you. With Just Calm and the Just Thrive probiotic, you'll have the ultimate stress-fighting duo to help you win the day every single day. And right now, when you go to justthrivehealth.com and use promo code SKINNY, you can get 20% off a 90-day bottle of Just Thrive probiotic and Just Calm. That's like getting a month for free. And a portion of every purchase goes to Vitamin Angels, a nonprofit organization that saves the lives of millions of children and moms to be around the world by ensuring they get the vitamins and minerals they need to stay healthy and strong. Again, that's justthrivehealth.com, promo code SKINNY.
One thing that I have done every single day of my life for the last 3 years is I have eaten a bowl of meat. I actually went on TikTok the other day and saw thousands of renditions of your guys' take on my bowl of meat, which was really cool. And the other day I did one that was absolutely delicious. I actually started it with Taylor Farms chopped salad kit. So I didn't have to pre-wash it because the salads are pre-washed, pre-cut, and ready to enjoy. I put it on the plate. I then laid a bunch of meat. I did some venison on top. So good. Had a bunch of organs in it. And then I did raw cheese on that, chopped tomato, a little bit of pepperoncinis, a little bit of jalapeno, and some ketchup. And it was like a burger bowl. It was so good. Taylor Farm salads make healthy eating easy and delicious. I find it to be very efficient when I'm quickly whipping up my bowl of meat. I can't be bothered with too many things. I need stuff that's quick. And I like how this is all pre-cut. The one that I used is the Southwest chopped. This was bright. It was fresh. It was perfect for the bowl of meat. Taylor Farms chopped salad kits deliver the freshest, best tasting salads to eat at home or on the go. I love anything on the go. If you want something fresh and delicious, check them out. Taylor Farms chopped salad kits are available at all major grocery stores.
If you could pick one or two of your favorite episodes looking back, what would they be?
Of what?
Of The Office.
Well, I thought, I wasn't in this one, but the dinner party was so crazy.
What about one you were in? Give us one you were in.
The gay witch hunt is very funny, I think.
Remind me of the gay witch hunt.
When he kisses me on the mouth and I have to sue him and I leave I left to go do a show on Comedy Central.
How was kissing?
I didn't expect that. You know, people know this. It was improvised and it wasn't in the script, and he did it because the scene was flat, and then now he made it an iconic scene. And that's Steve Carell putting on his executive producer hat.
We need to pull that scene. I need to see you guys kissing.
No, but the dinner party scene with the flat screen TV when it's the tiny little TV
and
is
even
so
like
funny.
in the bedroom, he's like, I sleep here on top of the trunk at the foot of the bed. It's bananas.
I think I need to rewatch The Office.
Remember they hung the tiny flat screen? And
I kind of remember what you're talking about, but I feel like I need to rewatch it.
I'm down.
I rewatched Sopranos. I think I'll rewatch The Office.
Great show.
It is I got to rewatch it. I feel like it'll bring back all the warm, fuzzy memories.
Yeah.
If you were going to give your daughter advice, you mentioned self-worth. What are some other sort of like pillars that you would give her?
Well, that's the most important one, I think, because then everything else branches off of that.
I agree with you. And I think a father to instill self-worth in a daughter is the most important.
Yeah. That's it. When it comes to creativity and stuff, and she's little now and figuring out what she likes and stuff, to surround yourself with like-minded people. I think that's very important. And friends are important, who your friends are and stuff. So, yeah.
Michael's going to be puppeteering that. I can already see in his eyes.
Well, you're a little further along. Maybe I have to give you a call as you get into the teenage years.
How old is
She's 4.
Adorable. Adorable.
I was walking this morning with both of them. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old downstairs. We're running around the hotel without shoes on. And this woman in the elevator was like, oh, I have a 16-year-old. And I was like, yeah, like this is like, they're 2 and 4. And she said, whew, love that age, but it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but they're only 2 and 4
I know.
once, and it goes quickly. So all that goes away when it is a lot of work, but you look back and you're like, oh, maybe I should have enjoyed every single minute of that because they won't be back there again.
Yeah, this older gentleman was walking by us again in the hotel, and the kids were they were going crazy, and I was like, oh, sorry. And he looked back and he's like, don't worry. He's like, one day you'll miss this.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And
God.
then, she used to say Lello instead of yelling. We're like, don't correct her. Just let her say it till she doesn't.
Yeah, don't you dare correct Wook.
What is Wook is?
Wook is look.
Yeah.
Don't you dare correct that.
No, it goes away.
Or my son, he'll go, Mir, daddy, Mir. Like, come here.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Yeah. It's all wonderful.
What can we expect from you up and coming? Pimp yourself out. Tell us where.
What's happening?
Yeah, you get to pimp yourself out. Tell us where we can find you, see you, follow you, what we can look out for.
Why do you assume I want to be looked at and found and scoped out? What if I've turned a corner and I want seclusion and I want to be in a cabin I want to whittle? I like to whittle.
You can have seclusion if you want. You can say, I'm not going to pimp myself out.
Do you know what whittling is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to whittle some wood.
Whittle some wood. You know what? After the iconicness of The Office, I think you can take a break and whittle some wood.
I'll take a break.
We're going to open the show and say, we found Oscar. He was in a cabin whittling some wood. We dragged him down to the studio.
There's things happening. In the meantime,
Catapulted him down.
you could. I'm okay.
Yeah, we catapulted you down into the
You
studio.
catapulted me. It's funny you said catapult because when I pass away, I was telling one of my nephews was visiting me. Who was it, Johnny? And I told my wife and him that I'm like, you guys, when I pass away, right before I pass away, not, I don't want to be dead, but right before I want to be catapulted into the Pacific, like up past Malibu or something.
Like
Isn't that
right
cool?
before you.
So like,
Yeah, because I want to enjoy the arc of the like flying. It's beautiful sight, and then you land and you're biodegradable.
and you can be in the ocean.
I could be in the ocean.
Did you know?
It's
With
relaxing.
biodegradable
Grounding.
underwear. The fish will eat my body.
Love it.
Are you a Hunter S. Thompson fan at all?
Yeah. What?
You know what? Johnny Depp paid a few $1 million, I think. You can look this up. To after he passed, to shoot his ashes out of a cannon.
Hunter's? He would have loved it.
Yeah. that's
Did
the
he
thing.
want that?
I'm sure if he wanted, knowing a little bit about him, I'm sure he would be amenable to that outcome. But I think
The great Gary Shandling has a joke. He says, "When I pass away, I want my remains scattered on the beach.
I think I want Michael
I don't want to be cremated."
to eat mine.
Did
In
you
a
finish?
taco.
You stepped on me a little bit.
Sorry.
Did
God,
you hear
I don't
the
want to step on
punchline?
Oscar from The
Did
Office.
you hear the
Say
punchline?
the punchline again.
He
Fuck.
says, Gary Shandling says, "I want my remains scattered on the beach. I don't want to be cremated."
I don't get it.
just his body parts all over the beach. God damn it, Lauren. Can we keep up today? She's doing a slow start.
She's,
Would I be good on The Office?
yes.
Where would I sit?
Oh gosh, maybe human resources like in the other part because it's so full in the first one.
Okay.
But a little of you goes a long way, and that's good. They put you over there.
Could I wear like I feel like I'd want to come in like a bikini and be like,
Why are you making it crazy now? How
can't you just
how
be
would
normal,
that work?
Lauren?
Okay,
Right.
all
How
right.
would that work?
okay.
Where would I sit?
If you go over and sit with Toby and stuff, just you being there would make him crazy, and that'll be fun to.
I forgot about Toby.
Yeah, Toby's over there with you. We'd put you over there with.
We have a Toby too. Everyone has a Toby.
Everyone has a Toby.
Everyone has an Oscar.
And you know, where do you want to be?
Yeah, where do I want to be?
You could be in the warehouse. The warehouse is fun.
Chris
Warehouse
Pratt.
guy.
A
Chris
little
Pratt.
goes a long way, man. The warehouse, down there in the warehouse with those fellas.
It's pretty crazy that Chris Pratt started on The Office and now he's a superhero.
No,
No.
wrong.
He didn't start on The Office.
Has she watched The Office?
He didn't
Has
start
she
on The
seen?
Office.
Do you know who I am?
No,
He-
Parks and Recreation.
No, he was on The Office. I
think
swear.
so.
Google
I'm gonna
it.
fact check right
Hold
now.
on.
I don't think so. Wait, are you right? Is she right, Taylor?
Check right now.
No, I don't think
She
so.
may be
Guys,
right because she's so
I'm
emphatic.
pretty sure.
No, it's Parks and Recs. You're
I'm-
saying he was a guest.
I'm pretty sure he was on The Office.
I don't think so, but we'll see.
Taylor.
No, I don't think so. I think
I
you're
don't think
wrong.
so either.
I think
I
you're wrong.
almost. Then it's a guy that looks
we
just
we
like him.
love your enthusiasm.
No,
Yes,
Chris Pratt is not in the office.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
There's a guy. Okay.
it was a guy who looked like
Let
him.
me tell you something about my wife. She does this to me in our marriage.
But she's
will-
very enthusiastic.
No, not only is she enthusiastic, she did this to me the other day. Who was in the office? And she came to, and she's so sure. And
She's so sure.
I question myself. I'm like, I'm wrong. And then
It's called
you're-
gaslighting.
Welcome to being married. I do that all. I'm like, I don't know anymore. My
She-
wife says something like,
then
yes,
she'll
you're
turn around
right.
and be like, you're gaslighting me. I'm like, this is the very definition of
This is
gaslight.
the
Like, she just did it to you.
definition, yes.
Do you know that he needs to get a tattoo on his ass, really
He
small?
who?
Michael,
What do you want on his butt?
little, tiny cursive. Yes, dear.
Well, if it's on my ass, I'll never see it. And it's,
Okay, then let's put it on your face.
I won't see that either.
Who's
On
the
his
guy that
forehead.
looks like Chris Pratt in the? Come on, there's a guy.
He's the son. He's the son of a famous actor, Taylor, and he played like kind of my love interest or something weird like that. We were flirty
Yes.
on it. He's the son of a famous actor.
Show me who it is, because the guy looks just like
You're
Chris
kind of
Pratt.
right. You're kind of
You're
right.
not going to redeem yourself.
But it's
here,
not
Lauren. You're
him.
trying
I'm
to-
find his name.
you're
It's
wrong.
David.
All you need to do is Google guy
it's not him.
in the office who liked Oscar in the warehouse.
Maybe that'll work. Maybe.
Who knows what comes up with that search?
Just really quick, because I just want to confirm this. Google warehouse guy in the show The Office.
No, there's going to be 18 guys.
No, there's one guy specifically.
Oscar doesn't have time for this anymore, Lauren. You're
I know who it's. You guys, listen, Taylor, Jade.
Checking.
There's a show called Wings. Find out the two actors from Wings, and it's one of their sons.
the old show.
Yes, this looks just like Chris Pratt. You guys
We
are
found him,
gaslighting
everyone.
What's
me.
his name? No, we're not gaslighting. It's not Chris Pratt.
That guy looks like Chris Pratt a little bit.
Oh, David Denman.
That's what, yeah,
That's not David Denman.
That guy doesn't look
he's
like Chris
Pam's.
Pratt.
It looks like Chris Pratt. Yeah, he's Pam's what?
He's Pam's fiance.
No, he does not look like Chris
I thought
Pratt.
you were talking about a guy
I
who
forgot to ask you about Daryl.
he does not look like Chris Pratt.
he does not look like Chris
Daryl
Pratt.
does not look like Chris Pratt. No,
This kind of looks like Chris Pratt in Parks and Rec.
No,
Okay.
wrong.
no, he's a man. He's a big white guy, and the other guy's a white guy too. They don't.
He's funny.
Craig Robinson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah,
Craig
he's
Robinson
funny.
is really
Yeah.
funny.
You
Right,
got-
you're not going to redeem. You were wrong. Just admit you're wrong.
But
Let's
who are
move
who are
on.
the actors in Parks and
that looks like Chris Pratt.
in Wings in the
We're on a
Taylor
scavenger
has
hunt
to
here.
exit out
What-
Pornhub, so hold on a minute.
One-
Alley, Stephen Weber, and Crystal Bernard.
Okay, so Steve Weber or what was the other guy?
Taylor's got one of those old computers that have all the pop-ups that just keep
The
coming
first
up.
two guys.
Tim Daly,
Yeah, it's his son or the other guy's son, Weber's son.
Stephen Weber.
One of their sons was on The Office.
Okay.
And
So I
that's- and
wasn't
that's-
wrong.
You were completely.
No, not really. I think the guy we're going to show you looks more like Chris Pratt than David Denman.
Okay, can I see that guy?
Okay, it was Sam Daly. 'Cause
Let me see him.
I'm gonna find him right now.
Okay, that's the fella that she's thinking of, I think.
Okay.
Sam,
I
But,
just
but I
wanna
might
see.
be wrong. You might have been thinking of David Denman.
Let me just see. No, I
Is
was.
that
I
the
was
guy?
thinking of the other guy
Is that the guy you're
that
thinking of?
looks just the guy
that's the
that
guy.
looks just
That's the
like
guy.
Chris Pratt.
This guy.
That is Chris Pratt's twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that guy look more like
looks
Chris
more like
Pratt
it.
than
Yeah.
David Denman?
He does.
Yeah.
She says, no, we're not going to win.
He does.
Oscar, you're an icon. Thank you for coming on our show. Thank you for taking the time. If you had told me at 21 while Michael was trying to feel me up that Oscar from The Office would be in our office, I wouldn't have believed you.
I'm sorry, what was that? Who was trying to what? Oh, and Michael. This Michael.
Not Michael Scott.
Oh,
You know,
Okay.
the wheels have fallen off the rail track on here. We are,
Thanks for
that's how long you guys have seen the show. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
21.
Oh,
no,
Long
we
time.
out. Well, we've known each other for 25 years.
wow. Cool.
It's like it feels like it's jumping the shark. No, just kidding.
Thank you, Oscar. You're the best.
Thank you, guys.